So hey guys, welcome to another boss ranking. This time we're gonna talk about Silksong and we're gonna do easiest to hardest, but only the bosses from Act 1 because that's the only one I finished so far. And starting with number 17, we're gonna go with Moss Mother. If you played Hollow Knight, I can almost promise you that you're gonna beat this boss on your first attempt because the Moss Mother is crazy easy. She is by far the easiest boss in the entire game so far, and that's mostly because she only has like 2 attacks, one where she flies from one side to the other, and the other she just like bangs the wall and 3 like rocks fall from the sky, or this bug will fall from the sky and it, just walks on the floor very slowly. So yeah, it's very easy, but it's a fun boss. I enjoyed my time with the Moss Mother. Now going to number 16, I have the complete opposite feeling because I went from having fun with the Moss Mother to absolutely despising the Craggler. And it's not because of the difficulty, it's just that this is a very annoying boss to fight. Like, this guy just spams the same attack over and over again around the entire arena, and honestly it doesn't even feel like a boss, but Google says it's a boss, so I'm putting it here. And I didn't even know how to kill it, but by accident I just went against this wall and I decided to stay down there, and I decided to hit him just one time and go down and keep doing the same thing over and over again, and this took quite a amount of time, almost 4 minutes. But it works, and so yeah, I cannot give this boss a better ranking because, it's the same strategy over and over again. You have to be careful, you have to be fast, and he does double damage, but, it's a crazy easy boss once you know what to do. Now it's time for our number 15, and we have our lovely creature, the one that does the teleportation for us between the entire map, the Bell Beast. It's one of the first bosses that you're gonna find, and it's a boss that it's very easy. Like, let's be honest, he has a very small moveset. I did die to him once though. That's one thing that did happen, and that's mostly, it's not because of the moveset, just because this boss does double damage, and of course sometimes you're gonna get nervous, and I wasn't expecting so soon for a boss to do double damage, because in normal Hollow Knight only like the end bosses would give, like double damage, but in this game it starts right away with a Bell Beast. So yeah, I was a bit surprised and I eventually died one time. But in the end it's a very easy boss with a very small moveset that you're gonna beat in very few tries. Now it's time for number 14, and I'm gonna have a boss that probably not a lot of people will agree with me, but I have Skarrgard, the second version. Now the first version, it's another story, but we're gonna talk about that later. But the second version, like, I already knew the moveset from this guy, and I have, lots of tools already in my gear. So, I only died once, and the only problem to me in this fight is actually the flying guy. He takes a lot of hits to kill, and he is very annoying. But the boss itself, like I said, I already fought him before, and now I have a lot more tools, and he has like 2 attacks or something, like he jumps and he tries to hit you with a stick or something like that. I don't know, it's always the same. It's a very repetitive boss, and as long as you play it safe, you're not gonna have a lot of problems with him. And it's time for number 13, and one of my favorite bosses at the beginning of the game, and that is the fourth Shortus. And this is a boss that I beat on my first try, and trust me, that doesn't happen often in video games. So I was crazy happy, and maybe that helped me love this boss more than I should. I know, because this boss is kind of simple. Let's be realistic. He has like 3 attacks, but you can die in this fight, don't get me wrong, because he destroys the floor, and if you fall on the lava, you're gonna take double damage. And another thing that is a bit challenging on this fight is to actually hit his head, because he destroys the floor and sometimes you just cannot reach him, so you're gonna have to be dodging attacks while not being able to do damage. So yeah, the fourth Shortus, really fun boss, a little bit of a challenge, but nothing special. Still on the easy side. It's time for number 12, and we have Skull Tyrant, and I'm gonna say it right away, I'm gonna include number 12 and number 11, both versions of the Skull Tyrant. I decided to put at number 12 Skull Tyrant 2 because we already know his moveset. I mean, he has one saying that is gonna completely caught you out of guard because you're gonna just be walking and he will appear and destroy everything, and you're probably gonna get the first hit because you don't know what's coming. But let's be honest, it's the same moveset, there's nothing new in this fight, so I would put at number 11 the first time you meet the Skull Tyrant. And it's a boss I died like twice, but it's one of those bosses that you kind of feel bad for dying because it's a very basic boss. He just runs to one side, he jumps and he hits the floor, and some things fall from the sky. But I don't know, his massive size and the fact that it does double damage makes me, always nervous when something like that happens, and I eventually die like 2 or 3 times, something like that. It's time for our number 10, and I am actually quite surprised that I decided to put Lace at number 10, because I really thought she would be higher on this list, because, you know, I saw her in the trailer, and I thought she would be, you know, like the new Hornet in Hollow Knight or something like that. She would be like really tough, even though Hornet, the first time we meet her, it's not hard, but the second fight is really hard, and maybe that's what's gonna happen here. She was pretty doable on her first encounter, and when we fight her again, she's probably gonna be crazy hard. I don't know. But I think she's the first test to your skill, you know, because she's really fast, and she has also this one attack that does double damage. So I think Lace is a really good skill check, but if you have experience already in Hollow Knight, she's not going to be anything special. I probably die like 3 or 4 times, but a very fun boss. I really liked fighting Lace. It's time for number 9, and we have the return of Skarrgard. And oh my god, the first time I saw this boss, I really did not like this boss, man, because, you know, I got to him and I had pretty much no tools on me, because you fight him really early into the game, and I was getting my ass kicked over and over and over again. I died like probably 8 times to this guy, and I did not know what to do, you know, because I had no tools to fight him, and his reach is really crazy, and every time he would do the jump attack, I had nothing that I could do. So I noticed that when I was going to the left, he had like a, you know, like a ceiling on top of him, and apparently like he cannot jump there. So that's what I started doing, and eventually worked, and I eventually beat him. But my god, I did not like fighting this boss at all, and again, he kicked my ass many times. It's time for the number 8, and it's time also for another return, and we have the Moss Mothers version 2. One is easy, but 2 of them can get your ass kicked, because, oh my god, I die quite a lot to the Moss Mothers, man. I don't know how this happened, because they have nothing new. Like, it's the same boss, but this time it's double. 2 bees, 2 little bugs on the floor, and, you know, like 2 times the rocks falling from the sky. And I don't know, it's very easy to get overwhelmed, and that's what happened to me. I don't know, it's a bit hard to take them serious, because it's a boss that was so easy when you first found them. But again, because there's so much going on screen, and they can be doing like different things and everything, it can result in many deaths, and that's exactly what happened to me. Now it's time for our number 7, and I have the great Conchflies. And man, this is a weird fight, and I think honestly in this entire list, this was the hardest to rank. Like, I didn't die many times to this boss. I probably died like 4 or 5 times, I don't know. So, way less than the other previous 2 bosses that I mentioned on this list. But I don't know, man, I think I got really lucky with RNG, because this is, like I said, this is a weird boss. Sometimes they will just give us really good RNG and they just fly over our heads and we just hit them easily. Sometimes they will mix attacks and like they're throwing enemies and it gets crazy chaotic. But I don't know, man, like the fight when I finally beat him, it wasn't that hard. I don't know, everything just clicked so well. But I think these guys deserve some respect, because they do double damage and it's 2 enemies at the same time. So again, I think I was a bit lucky with this ones, but they're not as easy as my, you know, 4 or 5 deaths make it out to be. Now it's time for our number 6, and I have a boss that I think that probably a lot of people don't like. It's Moorwing. In fact, it's not my case, actually. I kind of enjoy this boss, but the run back to this boss, man, unless there is a bench, I don't know, or some secret wall, this is one of the worst run backs in Act 1. Maybe the worst. I mean, at least it's the longest, man. I haven't found any other boss that took so long to go back to. And this was messing with my head, because this boss is not very hard, if you think about it. He has like 3 attacks, he flies from one side to the other of the screen, he throws like this saw, and he does like this combo. And then he has a second phase where, yes, second phase is indeed a bit harder, because now the saws go in different places and stuff like that. So yeah, he gets challenging, and that's why I'm putting him here in number 6. But again, the run back really push a button in my head, because I just wanted to throw the controller against the wall, because every time I would die to this guy, I was getting so frustrated, because he didn't look that hard and I could not stand the run back. I still die like, I don't know, maybe 8-9 times, I don't know, I didn't count, but it was somewhere between that, and every single one of them hurt like hell. So yeah, I'm gonna give him the number 6. At number 5, I have one of my favorite bosses in Act 1, and that is the Sister Splinter. Oh my god, what a cool boss, one of my favorite challenges. It is just so fun, this fight. I hear this fight is gonna be nerfed, and I honestly don't understand why. Like, I mean, it's tough, don't get me wrong, I mean, it's at number 5, but it's nothing out of this world. I mean, it's I don't know, there's like roots falling from the sky, and there's this big guy that is punching the floor, and he does do 2 damage every time he hits you, and he also summons 2 enemies. Okay, like it's challenging, don't get me wrong, but I think this is such a good boss fight, so much fun, and you already have, you know, like the dash at this point and stuff like that. So yeah, like I put him at 5. I did die quite a few times, but I was having a blast, man. This is a boss fight that pushes the buttons for you. It makes you want to be better, and that's what I did, man. I didn't die that many times, less than 10 definitely, and I had a blast. Like it's a great boss, definitely challenging, and I kind of feel sad that they're gonna nerf this boss. I'm not gonna lie, I think this boss should have stayed as it is. It's a great fun. And from great fun, we're going to an absolute nightmare, and that is our number 4, Savage Beastfly. Oh my god, I cannot believe, as soon as I entered this boss fight and I looked at him and I thought, okay, this is gonna be like the, you know, the Group Mother or whatever it's called, the first boss from Hollow Knight. This is gonna be cake, super easy. And I progressed to die over and over and over and over and over. Like, I don't know, maybe 20 times I died to this guy. I don't know, I didn't count, but it was crazy, man. I could not believe it. I was getting so frustrated, because this boss has like 2 attacks, man. Like, he flies in your direction and he just bounces with his head on the floor. And technically that is kind of easy, but it does double damage in every time he hits you, every single time. And it just keeps summoning enemies, man, and the enemies that he summons are quite annoying. And even though he destroys them, and that's a really good thing, and you can play a little bit with that, I don't know, man, it gets overwhelming. And I don't know, his flying attack, for some reason, I just could not handle it. I know it's crazy simple, but it always felt like he wasn't going at the height that I wanted, man. And sometimes I would jump and I didn't need to jump, I just needed to stand still. And I don't know, this boss completely annihilated me to oblivion, and I did not expect that. I really thought this was gonna be a meme fight, and I became the meme because he kicked my ass big time. And at number 3, I have another one of my favorite fights in Act 1, the Phantom. Oh my god, probably the fastest fight so far. This is like Hornet at 3 times its speed, something like that. I don't know, and it's such a crazy fast pace fight and such a blast, so much fun. Like, this guy is like a secret boss, and getting to him, it's an absolute nightmare because you have to go through the mist, which is one of the craziest levels I've ever seen, and it took me forever just to get to him. But my god, it was totally worth it, because this is a crazy cool boss, and the challenge is out there, man. Because again, mostly because of the speed. No, it's not exactly because the moveset is out of this world. It's just crazy fact. You need to have like the reflexes of a god almost. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but it's really fast. It doesn't have much moves that do double damage, but you're gonna have so much fun in this fight that you're probably not even gonna notice that you already only have like 2 masks and you're just about to die. And besides that, he has a second and a third phase, and I did not expect the third phase. Like, second phase, he starts doing like this laser explosions everywhere, and then suddenly I thought I was gonna kill him when this was done, and he starts screaming, and then he does like 5 explosions in a row, and it caught me off guard. I died right away. And I don't know, man, like, I have a blast. This is a boss. I see many people getting crazy angry, and many people even probably quitting this boss or something like that, because again, you need reflexes like crazy fast to deal with this boss. Awesome boss. And at number 2, I have the Widow, which is a little bit like the Phantom, is also crazy fast, one of the fastest fights in Act 1. And I think probably the hardest thing in this boss is that there's just so much to keep track of. Like, this guy is summoning like these bouncing balls all over the entire arena, all the time during the entire fight, and they're like bouncing everywhere, and you have to keep track of the boss, you have to keep track of the balls bouncing, and it gets crazy like hell, because some of the balls that he summons, they do double damage, and then he has this attack where he like does this combo that also does double damage, And like, to me the worst thing is that I adapt pretty alright in first phase, but second phase, like the last phase, I was going mental, man. I thought I was gonna stay there for hours fighting this boss, because second phase, I don't know, man, everything just feels faster, or like he's summoning more balls or something like that. And you know, that attack where it does the combo, in first phase he goes into the air and then he goes down and then it does the combo, so it's easy to know when he's doing it. But in the final phase, he doesn't go into the air, he goes straight at you and it completely catches you off guard, and because it does double damage, you get like, you know, stressed right away and it's crazy easy to die. So yeah, I had a crazy amount of problems with the Widow. I probably got stuck on her for like 45 minutes, and yeah, it definitely deserves the second place in this list for me. And at number 1, I am extremely happy to say that the last judge, which is the final boss from Act 1, is the hardest boss from the entire act. Okay, I just repeated the word act many times. Okay, but doesn't matter. This boss is absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed it. What I did hate was the run back. I mean, I probably die more times to the run back. That's kind of a boss on its own, and it would really work with my mind, because I would get to the boss crazy angry, and every time I think that was a reflection of me fighting the last judge, because I was always stressed fighting this guy, because like he is crazy fast, he does double damage with everything, he has like this fire delayed explosions on second phase, and in third phase it does like this fire attack that takes almost the entire screen. I don't know, like it doesn't have that many moves, and basically everything is a copy, but just, we know, with the delayed explosions. But I guess the entire thing, the crazy run back and the double damage and its speed and the fact that it's the final boss and you're so crazy to go into, you know, the second act to get to the Citadel or something, it just, it's so much stress. I don't know, to me it really messed with my mind. Maybe this is not the hardest boss for most people in Act 1, but to me, I guess there's just so many stakes in this boss, and the run back was so awful that everything just was so powerful in my head, and I probably didn't play as good as I should. But yeah, this was the boss I died to the most by far, and that's why to me he is number 1. But I am super happy because I love the boss, and because he's the final boss, and that's what I want in a final boss, that he is the hardest. And I cannot wait to see what Act 2 is gonna bring us. But for now, this is my list. I hope you enjoyed, and tell me in the comments what do you think are your top 3 hardest bosses in Act 1. Okay, see you guys and have fun while going into the world of Silksong.